Good morning all, Matt Leggett here, Sanford, Maine ATV Club. I wanted to get on here and do a video about the meeting yesterday because a lot happened and we have a lot of changes coming up, and I thought it deserved more than just a written post. Video, we can get a lot of information out there. So yesterday we had a meeting with the town of Lebanon, city of Sanford. Brian Bronson from the state was there, myself, and our vice president Lauren. And we were able to kind of just figure out what's going on with the trails in Sanford and where the ATV club is going to have trails and what's going to be best for communities and stuff. And as of right now, we're going to keep our focus, like the post said, we're going to keep our focus on the pole line between Lebanon and Waterboro. A couple reasons for that. This year, Southern Maine ATV Club, who started that trail and has done years of work. There's a bunch of guys in the Southern Maine ATV Club that have done tremendous things on that section of pole line. The boardwalk that's out there is because of them. Lots of man hours to get that trail established. That section of trail has become, excuse me, kind of overwhelming. It's a lot of work in that area. And their volunteer pool was shrinking. So it was something they decided to give up last year, and that's why it closed. So the Sanford Club we want to pick that section of trail up and make that our main artery. And we're doing that not because we're giving up on Sanford. We don't want anyone to think like we just want to abandon Sanford. It's not a decision that we're making lightly. It's very frustrating, actually. It's been almost 5 years. I think it'll be 5 years this year that we've been in Sanford. And we originally started because there was a council that wanted an ATV club to really start taking care of issues on the rail trail. And that's, none of us were political. We didn't know the inner workings of what was going on in Sanford at the time. And what we quickly found out was there was a group that just hated four-wheelers, wanted them off the trail, came up with problems along the trail. They said, issues that they were concerned with, but wouldn't let us fix it. So that way they could just continue to complain about those issues and try to make the ATV community look bad. And, we've been fighting that fight for years now, and it's frustrating because, this is volunteer hours. We're not retired. I got to go to work, take care of my family, and still try to run an ATV club. And keeping trails open is fun. Maintaining them is fun. Riding is fun. Fighting about politics, trying to keep a trail open, not so fun. And there's that group that doesn't want ATVs. They're retired. They want walking trails, they want biking trails, and they hate ATVs. And they're retired. They got lots of time, nothing better to do than cause issues. And an issue that we saw on the horizon coming up this summer, which was a kind of discouraging, is they're going to try to make the rail trail a linear park. So if you're in Sanford watching this is something they're doing behind the scenes, but make the rail trail into a linear park and connect it with the Mousom the Three River Land Trust, which would essentially make it impossible to get ATVs on the rail trail ever again, even if we came up with solutions. So at this point, we're going to leave it in the council's hands. We're going to give it one more shot in the next couple weeks. I'm going to go to a council meeting and express our concerns, and if the council thinks ATVs are a good part of the community, we've been part of the 4th of July parade, down at the 4th of July events. We've done safety classes for the community. We did a fundraiser for someone who got injured. We've tried to be a positive impact. I know many walkers on the trail have said, the club has done an excellent job educating riders. The council's going to have to decide whether they want ATVs, because we can't keep fighting the same people that have the ear of the council. I mean, they're at every meeting. They're retired. They're at every meeting. They have their numbers. I just can't fight that, and neither can the other officers in our club. And so it has become a very, a realization that, do we put our efforts into an area that want ATVs, where we could have really good success and really awesome trails, or keep fighting politics and not being miserable about it? So anyway, maybe the council will sing a different tune in a couple weeks. Maybe they'll really want to step up and do something on the rail trail, but we're not going to fight it anymore. We're just going to let the select few win, and the residents of Sanford will have to try to deal with it in their own way, I guess. and that's unfortunate because I think 3 or 4 people are shutting down access for hundreds in Sanford that ride. So that's very unfortunate. But on the positive note, we're kicking off a new section of trail. That's like 10 miles up to Waterboro. That section has always been super rough. It's really discouraged people from going up towards Waterboro and beyond because of how rough it is. Some people like super rough trail, and it's definitely not going to get smoothed out in a year. But there are concerns. When we're on CMP property, they don't want mud at all, and any water that's running needs to be bridged. That's a DEP concern. So we need to bridge all the running water and try to start straightening out that trail. I think rock picking, we've been hauling material and trying to fix water holes and stuff every time we have a work day, do bridges. But maybe this year we're just rock picking, because there's some steep hills out on that power line where there's just a ton of big rocks that make it kind of dangerous for a new rider to go up and down. So we'll be heading out there with contractors to look at different areas that we could have them work on as well. So a lot of work in our future. I know we've always asked a lot of the club and a lot of our volunteers and members, and we've really kicked butt for the 5 years, but we're gonna keep asking you for help and do our work party. That usually it's a week or two before we open to get the trails ready to go for the season. So I'm sure we're going to do that again this year. But that's our new direction. Really exciting. The state said there's a lot of trails in Shapley they would love to see open, or talked about a club opening in Shapley, or even us maybe taking over some trails in Shapley. That'd be great to be able to connect the pole line to Mooney's. So you could have, you could start off in Lebanon. You could ride towards Waterboro, or you could ride over towards Shapley, and both would be great day rides. I mean, you're going to put on probably 100 miles. So it would be a lot of fun to make this a fun destination and area. Hopefully we can connect to restaurants. Again, Shapley's pretty ATV friendly. I believe Acton is too. I think Newfield is. So I could see us having good success in those areas, just because we're dealing with people that actually want ATVs in the area. So they see the benefit of educating riders, and they see the economic benefit of it. So that's what we want to work with. It makes our enjoyment of trails much easier, or it makes our job easier, I guess. I don't know, however you want to phrase that. But that's all I got for today. Hopefully I explained that well enough. The comments. I already saw some comments about the pole line, dirt bike. I hate that. I know there's a guy that always posts, I'm trying to remember the name, about dirt bike stuff, and always has to get a jab in about dirt bikes. I mean, really, you got to lay off that, man. It's not us, all right? We're not telling people they can't ride dirt bikes on the power line. That's a CMP thing. And why that is, I believe, is from something in the past where they had some type of issue with a dirt bike, and nothing's changed since then. We've talked to the state about working with CMP to try to change that, and it just hasn't happened. It's nothing that we can do at a club level. It's going to have to be negotiated between the state and CMP, but it's not us. And bringing it up on a forum to stir the pot every time when we're trying to be positive gets old. So Roger Dodger, that's who it is, Roger Dodger. So hey man, not trying to knock you, but leave the dirt bike thing alone. We love dirt bikes. I mean, did you see this rig I got right here? This that is not a dirt bike, but it's certainly a lot of fun to ride. Dirt bikes, if I had one, I'd totally ride it. My kid wants one. I have no problem with it. There's nothing I can do about the dirt bike situation. We don't hate them. We just have to follow the rules on the CMP line. It doesn't have to do with destruction of land or whatever else flies out there for reasons why we can't have dirt bikes on the pole line. It's just the way it is. It's the CMP rule, and maybe someday we can change it. Talk to your local representative and see if they can bring it up in a forum at state level and bring it to CMP's attention. CMP wants to make everyone happy right now, for sure. They got a lot of negative press, so maybe that's one way they could get people happy, is by allowing dirt bikes on the trail. So hey, there's an angle for you. But anyway, hope everyone has a great day. I gotta head to work. and we'll talk to everyone soon.